Hey, I think we are on here. We're using computer audio. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm going to wait a few minutes for people to get on. Participants right here.
No, we're good. 15 people. You're good.
Okay, let me get on this chat here and see. Start recording?
It is.
Oh, it is? Okay. Hey, you can you hear me, Jack? Just saw you on here. Somebody, yes, good. You can all hear me. Good to see you, Alan, Desiree, Christian, Justin, Elaine. Who else is that? Emmanuel, holy cow, Matthew, Tony Anderson. In case you're wondering who's behind me, hi everyone, by the way, I'm seeing all that. This is Madison, and she is our newest associate. And she's actually at this studio here, known her for a very long time. She got the note. We told her she passed by the skin of her teeth, but it ain't true. She nailed the test. The coaching, and a lot of you are going to be able to work with her. She's going to warm up the girls. I'm going to warm up the guys here. We're going to do a short warm up, just and not yet, but later on in the webinar. I'm just going to wait for a few more people to get on. Christian Hurd says hi, Madison. Kathy, good to see you on here. Rachel Alford, good to see you. Anna. Gosh, who else do we got? Tons of people. Rafael, Javier. Hello, Javi. What's up? Javi, show me how to choke someone.
I don't think it works through this thing. But
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, they want to choke somebody really bad. Chances I'm the person getting choked.
It's okay.
It's all right. It's good for me.
It's
All right, a couple more people getting on. Elizabeth Brenner, good to see you. Priscilla. Oh, gosh. Amy Boyack. Bethany Johnson. Patricia. Ruth with you. No, not Kanye. Sarah Jo Burks. Hey, Sarah. What's up, girl? Sue Downs. Samsung something. Heather Vandergrift. Good to see you. Elena Kautsova. Oh, I hope I said it right. How those Russian or Slovenian, Slovakian type names, Eastern Europe names. Vincent, hi from California. Good to see you. Tricia, again, with you, like Matthew. Oh, cool. Karim Forde. Hello. Pete Rodriguez. Hey, you know that guy who plays baseball? Wonder if you know him. A-Rod. Potrivitu. Christina Potrivitu. Hello from Romania. So glad to be. Hey, Romania. What's up? Want to go to your beautiful country. Rafael Encarnacion. Cool. I know what that means. Nice haircut. Yeah, I got it buzzed off. Whacked it off. Gwen, people are still coming on here. Danny, guys, I'm just going to wait because we got lots of participants. This will be, and of course the price was right. What was it? Oh yeah, free. The price was right on this one. This will be our biggest not my biggest seminar, but my biggest webinar. My biggest seminar ever was 2000. I remember you before you had a gray beard. Hey now. It's distinguished. Those are wisdom points. I need something. Hi, all. Good morning from Southern California. Gwen, Sherwin, good to see you. See who else? See, we got Leo. Danny, guys, I already said hi. Panan Hewitt, I think is it right. Kevin Dangler. Paul Kaur, aka Roberts. Good to see you. Leo Ralph Villamayor. Let's see if I said that right. Chantel Gomez, good to see you. Ricardo Kelly. Ricardo from South Africa. Yeah, hey, if you're from if you're just When you say hi, which means you can say hi again if you'd like, just say hi from wherever you're from. From the Netherlands here, Samantha, good to see you. From the Philippines, from Germany. I learned so much from your Mastering Voice program. Well, thank you. Bless you. Hi from Estonia. Estonia. It sounds like some made-up name, you know, one of those Lifetime movies. She's going to marry a prince for her Christmas present who's from Estonia or Slovakia or Jogovia. You know, it's got to have an Ovia on it. All those movies. Estonia is down from Finland. Yes, I do know. I'm just joking because we got those movies. Javier from Tennessee. I've heard of that place.
Have you heard of him?
Yeah, I've heard of you. Javier, aren't you a ice skater or something like that? Deanna Delore. Hi, Brett from California. Good to see you, Deanna. So great to meet you a couple weeks ago. Vancouver. Rachel Alford. Now, some of you might know Heather Vandergrift from Utah, my stomping grounds, her old stomping grounds. She's born in Utah, poor kid.
Wow.
I love Utah. Those mountains are something else. That's one thing I missed here in Tennessee was those beautiful mountains. And trout fishing, you know. You catch a bass, what do you do with it? I don't know how to eat this thing. Trout, you rip its guts out, cook it. If you're a vegan, I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend you, but hi, Sophie Masad. I'm at SLS in Oklahoma. Good to see you. Lynn from California. I'm the one that sent you ISO Thrive for your acid. I got to do that because I still have a little bit of reflux. I got some other stuff I take, but I'm interested in something more preventative and long-term. Been trying different things. Madison Lee. Mr. Brett and Miss Madison, thank you for doing this. Yes, blessings on you too, wherever you're from. John Palmer from Sonia, California. Panan is originally from Nigeria. That's awesome. Hi, Aiken, South Carolina. Hey, Aiken. We like our Aiken folks. So I think I've said hi to just about everybody, more people coming on. So I think it's time to get started as you all are on here. I don't know how many people are on. 109 people so far, and I expect more because we have about 4 times that registered. So anyway, 5 participants raised their hand. Okay. Let's see who raised their hand before we get started. I've got a lot of stuff. Honestly, I kind of wish this were 4 hours. I know that sounds crazy. I mean, who wants to just sit here and teach for 4 hours? This guy. I don't really get tired of teaching. Here's the people. Okay, I'm just looking at the list. Lower all hands. How do you tell people who raise their hand? How does that work? Lower all hands. I guess that's just people that total for call-in listeners. Okay. All right. Okay. I've got some notes here. Let me just tilt this up a little bit. I don't usually have to tilt it like that. So I'm going to be playing on the piano later on here, doing a little bit of singing. And we're going to talk about something that's very, very crucial to singing. Singing without emotion is like being married, but you find out your spouse is really a stuffed animal, a stuffed, you know, an inflatable doll. Not trying to be weird, but you know what I mean. It's not a real person. A mannequin. Better things. That's the word I was looking for. Gosh, couldn't think of the word mannequin. Isn't it weird? You're like, this is my wife. She says nothing, does nothing, looks pretty. A pretty voice can be so boring. I'm telling you. And a pretty voice can actually be stunning. It can stop you in your tracks and paralyze you. And there's a reason why that sometimes an ugly voice excites you. And you're like, why is that? It's because there is the personality in that voice. And I'm looking at my notes now, so I'm going to, I don't say cheat. I'm just going to be more efficient with my time here. I initially titled this 10 Things You Should Know to Transform Your Voice in the Studio or on the Stage. But the problem with that is there's a lot more than 10. But we're going to blow through these like or you drinking through a fire hydrant. So anyway, I wanted to say a couple things. One, personality wins in the entertainment industry. You think about this. That guy talks like this. I know him. Shot him 2 or 3 times. Doesn't matter. Point is, you know that that's Christopher Walken. As soon as you hear that, even if whether it's a good or bad or mediocre impersonation, when people impersonate you, it's the greatest compliment because it means you have a distinctive personality. So if you're like, I'm going to build a wall, or I don't do a very good one, him, or no, oh, come on. If you're Obama, talking right here, bon. If you're Bush, you're talking right here, and these tourists, I don't like tourists, but I like tourists. Tourism's good for the economy, but tourists are, there's a word, they're bad. Or that one guy's be president. My wife ran, but I'm still the head of the house because I'm the only one to be president. And they're making, a comedian was doing a thing on him. It was kind of funny. And then George Bush Sr. right here said that, God rest his soul. I'm not Catholic, but I love doing this one. George Bush Sr., God rest his soul, and he'd say, good people, 1,000 points of light. He had that personality, that nasal twang. And then Reagan was right here, all breathy. Carter, who's still alive, talks right in his cheeks. Jimmy Ford and Nixon both kind of spoke right here. I am not a crook. That's the famous Nixon quote. Then, of course, JFK, John F. Kennedy. I, John F. Kennedy, do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution. And all had this personality that came through. If you can't be impersonated, you probably need to start finding people that you are drawn to. Like, I want to get a little bit of that personality. Because the chances are when you answer the phone, somebody says, you could say this, you call from a number they don't recognize, and they go, hello, and say, hey, what's up? Now, back in the day, we didn't have caller ID or anything like this. People call and say, hello, and say, hey, man, what's up? Hey, Bob, what's up? From a what's up, I knew who it was immediately. And here's a funny thing, too. You think about this. How many times have you heard somebody talking on the phone and you know who they're talking to? Why'd you know? Because they adapt to their personality. Everybody adapts to each other's personality. I've been friends with Madison's father for more than half my life, since I was like 21-ish, 22 maybe. And since he was like in high school. And when I'm talking to him, there's a little bit of his personality. A lot of people see his personality in mine. And I think maybe a little bit of mine and him a little bit. And a lot of my friends, even my coaches here, there's just, you start to adapt to people's personalities. So when I say personality wins in the entertainment industry, it's important that you realize that singing is acting on pitch. And which means you have to learn how to interpret the songs emotionally. But we're talking about emotion, not just style here, more emotion. So remember, some of the most emotional songs are sad songs, right? It's easy. Oh, this song's so sad. Oh, this song made me cry. Well, I don't want to cry. I don't feel like crying. What else do I want? Feel like celebrating. Remember, there's a song, Celebrate Good Times, Come On. That was Cool in the Gang way back in the day. And cheesy little song, we gonna have celebration. Just a funny song. I mean, I feel like I'm making fun of it, but it was a great, great little hit song. Well, what's that song about? Celebrating. You can't listen to that song and be in a bad mood. And typically we think of major as very, very happy. This is the happy motion. And then there's the next major. Is little while, oh, we're gonna go wild thing. You make my heart sing. All those 3 little majors. How could you go? But if they're all minors. So minors is so emotional. But minor can be happy. Look at a lot of Jewish music. It's minor, but it's happy. Or Bach with his. It's all minor and even diminished. Well, diminished is very exciting when he has that. Well, that's exciting stuff. She's looking like, hey, you could play. Most people think I could play. And actually, sometimes I forget that I can play too, because I don't really practice anymore. Hardly. Lately I have been, because it's important to me to be able to sing songs and be able to like communicate as a pianist. So now, kind of getting over some of the silly stuff and just trying to break the ice with you. You think about another fun song, since it's Christmas. Madonna's song, Holiday. Holiday, we can get time. It's just so sweet. Or speaking of sweet, Sweet Home Alabama, right? Sweet Home Alabama. Even the beat is fun. So you have to ask the very first thing, that remember this, all songs are very emotional if they're well written. It's not a question of does a song make you cry. The question is, number one, what kind of emotion should be delivered? Anger, sadness, joy, peace, relaxation, the hypnotic feeling that comes from a warm flute-like tone, or which is way different from a bright, brassy, edgy voice for like pop rock. Hold on, some of my notes are not quite fitting in with the screen. 1 second, y'all. Fortunately, I have a big screen here because I don't have the best eyesight these days. I usually have my glasses on here. Okay. Good stuff. You're almost a Michael Keaton look like. Someone said, I'm Batman. Remember when Michael Keaton used the first one, said, I'm Batman. Can you believe Michael Keaton was Batman? For you younger ones, you're like, really? Who's Michael Keaton? All right. A couple more things. So, and that's point number one, is that you have to ask what kind of emotion. Number two, there is a vast array of emotion. It's not just simply the cheap emotions. When I write songs with people, they say, I really want to recite a song makes me. So, well, hold on. If you're going to describe feelings, stay away from the ad emotions. Bad, glad, mad, sad, or happy, you know. This song makes me feel bad. I feel glad. I feel sad. Boring, you know. Be interesting. And say, what you want is those ones aren't deep enough. So you want to replace sad with disappointed, devastated, desperate. Wow. If you're disappointed, like this, just that's this point can be, wow, devastated. I can't breathe, Desperate's like panic attack. That's way worse. And all those are levels of sadness that when you get into those levels of sadness, I've experienced them all. I've experienced such a wide range of emotions that some of them could call me a nut, and they'd be right. Do you want to replace glad with relieved? What glad is, kind of a sense of, glad is a response. Happiness is kind of a state. I'm just happy. Well, you can be happy as a state, but it's not necessarily a response. So you replace glad with relieved, restored, or relaxed. You replace mad with vitriolic and frustrated, vitriolic, or violent. See, I'm purposely alliterate because it's helpful to memory. And plus it was a songwriter, I'll alliterate everything again. These emotions, commotions, run deep as oceans, exploding. Think about Eminem, really strong alliteration, which, by the way, is a kind of segue to what we're going to be talking about later on with articulation. Remember, these exaggerations will transform your approach, but the more you apply emotion, the more you need to hold back. It's like restrained passion. Both Madison and I, and she trains way more than I do, both trained in jiu-jitsu. I'm trying to break some time away and because I had some concussions, and I wasn't able to go for a while. I'm trying to get back into it a little bit, but I love it. Been doing it off and on for fairly consistently for about 11 years. You get there, and at first you're like, all new people. We're just as passionate fighters, aren't we? But it's a relaxed passion. And when you sing, you should have a relaxed, controlled passion. If you don't restrain your passion, you're going to kill yourself really quick. You're going to blow out your voice, or you're going to start crying in the middle of a performance. Well, I saw some guy go, "You are so beautiful." And they're like, "Shut up, man! Get a hold of yourself. What's the matter with you, man? Hold back." Now, if you was just also, "You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see everything I hope for? You're everything I need. You are so beautiful." Like he's holding back. He almost wants to cry. He's choked up like, "Baby, you're so beautiful." But, there's people writing songs about the birth of their children and they don't cry. Stevie Wonder, that for once in my life, my someone's not too. That was about his wife. And then you got, "Isn't she lovely?" That's about his baby being born. Isn't she lovely? People usually cry when someone's born. Now, I'm overacting my emotions. Why? Because we're talking about emotions. So it can't be like right here. I've got to be passionate. But remember that passion has to have a level of restraint. So the next third point I want to talk to you about is, does intellect contradict emotion? Intellectually is usually associated with proper singing versus being emotion, which is more like letting go of your intellect. But if you're off key and your tone is sloppy, it's hard to feel emotional as a listener. And I've often said, sing with more understanding, not sing with more feeling. See, an interpreted song is like a movie that shows the past during the story, in order to inform the audience of the backstory. The more information the audience has, the more connected to the character they become. Joseph Stalin, I think it was him or Lenin, I think it was Stalin, said something that was horrific, and he actually fulfilled it in his murderous tirades in his wars. And if you're a Stalin fan, I'm not apologizing for that statement. He's a murderer. It's 50, 40 million people, whatever. Terrible. But he said something horrific yet true. And you think about this in a movie or in an audience. He said, when one person dies, it's just he says, when one person dies, it's a tragedy. When 1 million people die, it's a statistic. You think about that. Now, let me talk about the further implications. When you watch a movie, you get connected to this character. By the end of the movie, the person's slowly dying of cancer, and you just lose it. You saw, I think you saw the, not sure if y'all saw this, the Star is Born. Some emotional parts there. You just get connected to the characters. And so when they sing emotional songs, you just kind of lose it. Now I got to be careful not to have a spoiler alert about what that plot is about. But anyway, if you haven't seen it, go see it. I hesitate to say that because I kind of try to have some standards of morality and decency, and it's a little bit salacious. So anyway, you just use your own discernment and read the reviews and see if that's a movie you want to be watching. Don't take your kids to see it though. But in that movie, there's a one particular scene, and the song is just okay. It's not a great song, but the amount of backstory, it's not just the emotion, it's the amount of backstory. And again, movies do that. They'll have flashbacks, and you see this person as a child. And so I was thinking about this so much, and let me tell you what happened to me. when I was coming here, when I was driving here today. I was driving, I saw this guy holding a sign. You know what I'm talking about. Right there, you get off that exit. Sometimes we give them money, sometimes we don't. So you have to discern, is this person really just scamming? Is this, when they're a veteran, I think, man, here's $20. It's up to you to use it right. But I looked at this guy, and my mind just started flashing. I saw this 60-year-old man. I saw him 50. I saw him 40. I saw him 30. I saw him at 20. I saw him graduating high school or not graduating high school. I saw him in junior high. I kept really emotional thinking about this guy. I thought, at one time, he was some little 5-year-old kid. Maybe he had a good babysitter, a bad babysitter, good parents, bad parents. Something happened. So you look at those people and think they don't have souls. They don't have emotions. Man, I'm telling you, you have a conversation with somebody like that, you'll feel more than you want to feel. I've had conversations with people like that, taking them to lunch and hear their stories, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I support a place called The Cookery here. We're ordering there for lunch for our staff, and they take people off the streets and turn them into executive chefs. I'm not sure if you knew that. Isn't that cool? Yeah, they turn them into executive chefs, and they place them in restaurants all over the state and even around the country, and they redeem their lives. So a song should be about a story, and the story is the key to the emotion. Now, the technique is important. Like I said, if a person's sloppy, it's hard to feel anything about their listening to them. You can't connect to them because you're like, hey, you're a mess. All you can hear is that, man, learn to sing on key. It hinders, which is my next point. That is a fifth point, I believe. Does technique help or hinder your emotion? Some of the most brilliant technical voices in the industry have had little or no impact on people's emotions. I've watched these recital videos of singers singing in a way that pleases their vocal coaches, but think about this, the audience is often bored and disconnected to the performance. Classical music is not the problem. The real problem is the lack of identity. Carlo Braganza is one of my favorite voices in classical music. I'm not sure if you've heard of him, but Pavarotti loved him. They were dear friends. But I have to remember, I have to think to remember his name. But Pavarotti, nah. On the other hand, you never forget his name. You think of a male opera singer, you go, Pavarotti, because of his personality. So one guy goes, technique rhythm, he says, una furtiva lacrima. Pavarotti goes, una furtiva lacrima. A little more interesting, isn't it? Una furtiva. Wow. Aren't you gutsy? And you're the most pure opera singer of all time. It's the personality that wins. Now, like I say, I still love Carlo Braganza. He's an amazing singer. But there's more. He's more technically right than Pavarotti in a lot of areas. Not in all areas. But I think his tone is more well-rounded. But it's when a person starts looking like these. Like, let me show you these teacher critic videos where like a voice coach responds to the singer. And I'm probably going to do one of those. I would rather do one like voice coach responds to other voice coach responding to singers. And when that person says that, like this guy goes, oh, the voices, and she goes and said, voices. Don't correct him. I don't do that. If your person says, oh, the voices, I'm not going to go, voices, right there. Good. Now you're technically boring. You have to have enough technique to be able to do what you want to do, to be compelling. And if you can't do that, if you can't draw a person in, 90% of the time, it's your fault, not your audience's. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. So personality is needed for every style, not just pop, rock, and R&B and other stuff like that, even and especially for classical. Because look, you didn't know the words I was singing, but you probably maybe felt something a little bit that because like, I don't know what you're singing, but I like the way you're singing it. That has to be the what the audience thinks, even if you're singing in a different language. Next point. We're on 6. Predictability, vulnerability, and transparency. Predictability, vulnerability, and transparency. You see, there's the trembling voice versus the scared voice. A voice can tremble or a voice could be scared. The scared voice is a little bit hard to hold on to. A trembling voice can be just like, I am so excited that I can't hold back. And you've seen those singers that go, you don't know what it's like. He's trembling. Baby, you don't. He's like, I can't. He's holding back. He's like a volcano. He's getting ready to erupt. And that can be infused in you. Some of you, the first thing is, you know, as we teach here in the studio, she'll tell you, it's what CIA, say it loud. What does CIA stand for?
Control.
Coordinate. Inform.
Coordinating the voice, informing the mind, activating the ear.
Yes, coordinate the voice. And she goes, gosh, I just took the test. I knew you were cheated on that test. She's like looking on her arm, like, what are you looking at? Nothing. Got a scratch, just mosquito bite, but it's winter. Yeah, we have those winter mosquitoes. Big one, just. But coordinate the voice, inform the mind, and acclimate the ear. So when these three things hit that perfect storm, that's when you're really ready to sing. But if you haven't really informed the mind, which is what I'm doing today mostly, is just informing the mind and acclimating the ear to certain sounds. But to know what to listen for, know what not to do and what to do is a crucial element to singing. So we want to talk about this. The next one is we talk about the predictable, vulnerable, and transparent voice. A transparent voice is one that just says exactly what he's thinking. Oh my gosh, where's my tea? Hold on just a second. There it is. Well, did you believe me? You believe me because I reached for my tea. But that was a line. But the line came to me like, hey, where's my clock? See, if I just say that, I have a thought that comes to me. And that thought comes to me, and I sing the song, hopefully, like it's the first song, the first time I've ever had that thought. And that's that predictable vulnerability and transparency. I'm going to show you at the end. I'll sing a little bit and apply some of these. Next thing is, and by the way, each one of these, for you who are my VIP members, and we're going to talk about that later on, how you can become a VIP member on our Facebook page, and we do these weekly warm-ups and these weekly Q&As and then extra tips that we have. I'm going to be doing, taking down each one of these points each week and adding extra content, because literally this should be a 20-hour class. There's so much to talk about just on vulnerability alone. The power of vulnerability. But the next one, I think we're on point 7. I have bullet points here, so I should have wrote numbers. Tone, timing, and texture. The sounds of success. The tone, your tone, the particular quality, which is, do you choose to sing in your head voice, the or you choose to sing in chest voice, the hey, or the mix that ma 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 ma, which is that mixed voice. If you're using your mix, that's a particular tone. But the tone can also be a lighter, brighter tone, or a headier tone. So it can be he or he. It's two totally different voices. Or hey, a little bit more out of the mouth. It's a mouthy tone, but it's not high enough that I can't really hurt myself. But I'm saying in those tones, there's so many qualities I can get. I get a high larynx, a low larynx. Once I figure out my timing, whether it's my tone, whether it's going to be a more hooty, headier, lighter sound, or a brassy, aggressive, almost nasal sound, then I'm talking about my timing. My timing is, in the words of Christopher Walken, timing is everything, right? It's that what we call in acting, they call it a pregnant pause. It's like you're starting to say something and it changes meaning. And I'll show you what I mean. I did that in my song Medication, where I said, if the spiritual message offends you, I'm not sorry. am who I am, right? So I said, I've lived my life in self-deprecation. I found the things I've craved to be my poison. I stopped running from the flood of condemnation, 'cause I found God to be perfect medication. Now that, what I love, it says, I stopped running from the flood of condemnation. I live my life in self-deprecation, but I stopped running. I found the things I craved to be my poison, but I stopped running from the flood of condemnation because I found God. Okay, good. You found God, so you don't feel condemned anymore. A lot opposite to what some people might think about God. One person said, if you don't believe in God, I'm not mad at you. I mean, it's actually kind of hard to, I think it's harder not to believe than to believe, but I get it. It is hard to believe. You know, there's people say, hey, I didn't come here to get preached to. I don't care. I'm not trying to hurt you. If we're thin-skinned enough that we can't be around people we disagree with, then we should leave this place, you know, which I have a lot of people I disagree with. I'm very good friends with them. But I told one of my friends who doesn't believe in God, I said, man, it's hard not to believe in something you can't see. You know, kind of like radio waves. He goes, yeah, but there's manifestations of them through the radio. I said, you're a manifestation. He said, think about that. So what I'm saying is, I had all this condemnation, which is opposite of what a lot of people might think spiritually, like spirituality brings you to condemnation. One person said, I feel free from any condemnation. Say, me too. But you're denying God gets you away from a sense of condemnation. And I'm not mad at you for it. I'm not even trying to change you. That's what I told him. I said, and my finding God, and I'm talking about interpreting a song. I have to be honest where I come from. And you can be honest where you come from. I can't. I'm not mad at you or angry with you because we see things differently. I'm interested in that conversation. But when I say that, because I found God to be, the pause changes the meaning. The perfect medication. I found God is a complete thought. I found God to be is a complete thought. And I found God to be the perfect medication. That little pause, like, oh, that's that hook. When you're telling a story, and it's like, I need to use a crass example, but in Jenna Maroney on 30 Rock, years ago, she goes, please, I don't compromise my acting career. And it's kind of a crash show sometimes. It's funny. But she goes, I don't compromise my career. I mean, I've turned down sexual advances from Harvey Weinstein. She said this 7 years ago. It's kind of funny, huh? Kind of predictive programming. She goes, I've turned down sexual advances from Harvey Weinstein 5 times out of 7. Like, wow. That changes that meaning, that 5 times out of 7. Well, that's a little more crass example. Another kind of more hostile advance when Christopher Walken says, some guy says, you cold-blooded killer, you killed my father or my brother or whatever. He says, he's sitting there with the mayor having a cocktail, and he goes, I never killed anyone who didn't deserve it. You know, first he's like offended. I didn't kill anyone who didn't deserve it. Changes the meaning. Again, it's a little hostile example, slightly funny, but extremely dark, admittedly. I am not a violent person, I promise. But it is kind of funny. So on all areas of the spectrum, whether it's spiritual or comical or crass, there is a place where you interpret and you bring to light the intention of the author of the song. That's what interpretation literally means. So let me go into this next thought here. So we talk about timing. This timing is very important. And look at, honestly, I could do a whole lesson on timing because it changes so much the way you're going to sing a song. Because, Mel Torme, who's in your list, says, the He goes, chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by a choir. Well, for his timing, and it changes the melody a little bit. We talk about that style, licks, trills, runs. Changing up the melody actually can help the emotion of a song quite a bit because it makes it feel fresh. But when sometimes he goes, chestnuts roasting on an open fire. That little, he says, chestnuts roasting, let them roast for a little while, on an open fire. And he looks up and he goes, Jack Frost nipping at your nose. He does this at 72. He'd been singing the song for 50 years since he wrote it when he was 22, fresh out of college. How do you sing a song with that much emotion? What's the emotion? Romance, nostalgia. In the words of Stephen Wright, I like to reminisce with people I don't know. Remember when? Never mind. But it's like you're reminiscing with people. Remember that? So he goes, Yuletide carols. And you see him like listening. Being sung by a choir and folks dressed up like Eskimos. And you see him like you get warm. You'll feel cozy. Now some other newer D-buzz singing that. It's roasting on an open fire. Stop that. Why? Don't. There is not emotional. It's you like showing up. If you're trying to show off the song, remember this. I said this to Haley Williams once, and she said it impacted her. Let's just say that. Backstory is a whole longer story, but I don't want to get too far off base. But is that she used to be a competitive singer, always trying to find a song to show off her voice. And now she's an artist trying to find her voice to show off a song. It's a different and profound way of thinking. And actually, I first coined that phrase in a lesson with Keith Urban. So when one person's going, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, both dressed up like a mouse. Why? It's about you. It ain't about the song. And guess who loses? The song loses. You lose, and the listener loses. Because the listener doesn't connect to you. You don't connect to them. All you say is, I'm better than you. I'm better than you. Watch this. Sit on your hands if you have to when you sing. See if you can strip out use trills, licks, and runs to be amazing and then get rid of them just enough to be able to say, can I get by without any of that? And I have a version of a Mary Had a Little Lamb. Freaks people out. They go, wow. That's Mary Had a Little Lamb? They go, gee. I sing in Italy, and I've had women cry going, that's not what I thought this was about. And I said, well, it's a different version, isn't it? Same thing in Twinkle Little Star. If you do that, what happens eventually, then people connect to you saying, you didn't try to trick me. Don't try to trick your audience by being so amazing. You're in love with the sound of your own voice so much. Going back to him, he says, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir and folks. And when he comes back to he goes, that, and you see his eyes like it's the very first time. He's a little kid and he's seeing Santa for the first time. The Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is on a spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase from folks from 1 to 92. Though it's been said many times, many ways. Merry Christmas to you. Now, I hope that puts people in the mood. And it's the season, right? When I love Christmas because I love Christmas music. I love going through the stores and hearing every Christmas store, every place I go. It's the most festive thing. It makes you think you're a child. And again, whether you're religious or not religious, I don't care. In a sense, I don't care. There's still something extremely festive and reminiscent and emotional about Christmas music. So it's a perfect time to talk about that, because a lot of you all are getting ready to do performances and you want to be able to deliver that timing. And the last thing on that point is texture, tone, timing, and texture, the sounds of success. The texture can be breathy, right? Hey, Merry Christmas to you. That little bit of a whisper can draw people. Or Merry Christmas to you. It'll be a lean in, pull back, lean in, pull back. That's not just tone, it's texture, because it can be breathy, it can be crunchy, and there's a lot of ways to make this. And those of you who are using my programs understand this, which means we should do a quick little warm-up. Let me tell you something, because those of you who are not that familiar with my technique, the technique is kind of simple. I say, I don't expect much from singers. Just that you have an amazing range. 4 or 5 octaves would be great. 3 is, if you can sing in 3 octaves, it means you can sing the Star Spangled Banner in 18 keys. So before you say you have a 3 octave range, you might want to consider, can you sing that song in 18 different keys? And one girl told me she had a 4 octave range. I said, good, it means you can do it in 32 keys or 30 keys, go. She goes, oh gosh, that's a hard song. So, well, that's only an octave and a half. So we warm up, stretching out. We call warm up, which is partly warm up, coordinate, and then work out, WCW. You have to warm up your chest voice. You put your hand on your heart and you go, ah, 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 ah. Do that for the ladies. Go, ah, ah, ah. So that's the lady's chest voice. And then the head voice, you put your hand on your head and say, wee. Give them a high one. Wee. So that's head voice, wee. And for go high, wee. That's a pure high head voice for like that choir sound. And the mixed voice, which is in the middle, that it's a joining, it's a chest and head. Give them good up there, right there. That and she's not and she's not she's not yelling. So very similar to what some have heard as speech level singing with the same mechanism used to talk with, so you don't suddenly change a whole lot and flex outer muscles of the larynx. If you supplant the outer muscles of the larynx, if you replace the coordination of the outer muscles of the larynx, which people can see and you can feel, with the inner muscles of the larynx, which you don't hardly feel at all, and people can't see. So they look at you and think, you look so relaxed. Go watch any of her videos. Watch her Where's Your Bad video, and you can see her, I mean, it's a music video, but at the very end, she's got a testimony, and she's singing over the top of it, and her face looks like this, and you'll see that today. The idea is to be able to keep, if you had an L shape right here, and you went right here, your face could stay right here and sing the whole song. You don't have to lift your chin, and you lift your chin for emotion. If you're like, I said, say, don't lift your chin, drop the back of your head. You up on your knees, or fall on your knees. It's a little more safe, but sometimes this can be more emotional. And we're after emotion. And as long as I'm lifting my chin but just dropping the back of my head, there's a place for there's exceptions to a bunch of musical rules. But when you see a person doing this, run from that. And I see some of my competitors who tell me that singing is more muscle than what Brett Manning's talk about. You need to muscle it. No, you need to find your chest voice, find your head voice, and find your mix. And there's 3 exercises. We're going to do those. By the way, I have hundreds of exercises in my program, in my subscriptions, which I'll talk about later today. So we're warming up. I'm warming up just the chest voice. We're going to be just the guys first, and the guys will stay here. We'll say, brrr, and you can either do that on an octave like, I'm not going to take you as high as I normally go. Just enough to sing. Here's the mix, watch. That G is normally a lot of guys say, whoa! You're yelling, not good. Whoa! Falsetto, not good. It's right in the middle. So if we're taking her up, you're going to go just up to us. Let's see. Ladies. Go a little higher. Take it to a D. Now she can go. She has to falsetto. That's a high D, and that's plenty high for most songs, right? Now we have the head voice, pure head voice. The wee 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 wee, because that's a little stretching and the high end. So guys, we're gonna just say wee wee wee. If your voice is Eric, you're saying wee 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 wee. If you look at the falsetto, you could do it's a longer scale, so if you haven't heard it. You see that sound? And you don't have to go that high. I mean, hardly any sounds go up there. You just stretch out just enough to be able to sing. Madison, you're going to go up a little. You start up here to the lady's high, up to the lady's C or D. Your head voice. Higher than she needs to sing, higher than you sing. She goes all the way from the highs. And by the way, it is possible to drastically increase your range. I know you haven't really sung yet today, right? Oh, you have? Oh, good. Making my job easy. Let's do a 3-octave scale just so you can see what's possible. You don't have to do this. I'll do the first one with you if I can. We're going to say. Even though this is not about technique, I'm just showing you vocal flexibility can provide emotion. You hear a person here sing a ridiculous high song, you kind of go, it's astonishment. So do that. Say. That's the E above C. Now I'm going to drop out. Because I'm coming off of laryngitis, structural. It's A flat above the high C. B flat. Goodness gracious. High C. It's a double high C, as high as Mariah Carey sings. Oh, holy night, or all night. Just. That's it in the middle range. Hers would be. Yeah. Oh, holy. Yeah, she didn't practice that. Never tried that in her life. She just did it first time. Not bad. Not bad. She's 21. She was a little bad. Her song that she does, she sings a brilliant C, well, I see, but just to make her do that. There's emotion in astonishment when you have a great facility. But you have to be able to, like I say, you have to have all that so that you have it, you know. Say, just so you'll have it. You know, like a realtor says, "Sir, I think you need a 5-bedroom house just so you'll have it. But only have this many kids." Yeah, but then that way you'll have it, you know. So you want all those parts of your voice because that way you'll have it. Same thing with all of my exercises. Do you need hundreds of exercises? You probably need at least a dozen. But that way you'll have it. So you want to get better. You know, you don't want to like get here and like, I'm stuck now, because that's the limit of these exercises. There's some physical exercises I'm doing. They're helping me grow and get stronger. And, you know, that way I'll have it. You know, I want that extra strength, especially for jujitsu, because she's going to beat me up on Saturday. It'll be bad. But next thing is the mix, and that's the blend between head, chest, and wee, and the he. Right here at the bridge for male, E, F, F sharp is my plate. This is where I want to break. I want you to go, ooh. That would be like her going, so, ooh, like flip. So instead of breaking, there she's just going to say, ma, 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 ma. No break. That's a blend of head and chest. Half the mouth, half the head. Keep going. There we go. There we go. Wow. Really flat. F. Now that F is the high note that I coached Haley Williams, which was an emotional moment on the Decode song where she said, yeah, 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 yeah. That note. So do that. Yeah, 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 yeah. She's never done this. We're going to make her do it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, you have to be in the room to experience how profound that is, because it's like getting kicked in the chest. That is an emotion. But again, so is whispering provides an emotion. So for me, my mix is here. If I go, lackluster, I flip in the falsetto unless that's what I wanted. But if I want to stay connected, I want to yell. So in the middle, it's ma 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 ma. I'm gonna walk on eggshells as I'm still in recovery. Hallelujah. Now an A is high is that new Songs of Silence, Sounds of Silence that everybody's obsessed with. I am done by Disturbed, and one of my singing success program users, I should say, not a student, but he's de facto is my student, does a version of that. Mick Blankenship, listen to his, and he hits that E, that A with such a solid, penetrating sound that my emotions just took over, and I was like in a coffee shop, like, ah, crap, I'm crying. I can't take it. So anyway, let's go back here. The next thing, talked about that. We talked about articulation. We talked about tone and texture. Articulation. You know, in classical music, we sing from vowel to vowel, and it's very pretty. It's holy night, the stars are brightly shining. And after a while, it's pretty. For some of us, we only hear vibrato, and we like to hear something besides vibrato. We like to hear additional sound come out of the person. I need more water. It's my second one today. Hold on. You not be a hypocrite. I usually take at least 8 chugs every time in order to really truly hydrate yourself. So, anyway, going back to this. Where was I? Articulation. In classical, you might hear someone going, oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. And it's pretty. But if you're singing something that's pop and more commercial, I articulate, I think, sing from consonant to consonant rather than vowel to vowel. Thinking, oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. The more I hold on to every word, the more I pull on you. It's like grabbing hold of your sleeves. You can't get away. If I get the consonants start to feel like that, like somebody's gripping you. So instead of, oh, holy night, I'm barely touching the vowels, the consonants, and just barely leaning on the vowels. So I'm saying, oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Dear Savior, Savior's birth. So the longer I hold on to those consonants, the more I can define my emotion, because consonants give definition to what you're saying. Vowels are, some people say, emotional, and consonants are intellectual. Yeah, sort of. But you think emotions have to have definition. Like what we talked about. It's what kind of tone is sad? I don't know. What does a sad tone sound like? That's really nebulous. So you define it with a consonant. The consonant gives meaning, gives the word pregnant meaning. There's that word again. Pregnant meaning. It has to be right there in your head, literally pulling the words out of your brain, pushing the words into a person's ear. So when I think of singing, I'm thinking I'm taking words and smashing them right in your ear. Now that sounds harsh, but it's true. It's like I want it to be stuck in your ear. I don't want you to get that song out of your ear. So articulation, it means we don't say T like T. It's T, 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 T. It is the night of a day. And that's not dear. It's D, D-Z. Dear, dear Savior's, not V, V. Savior's birth. But it's not necessarily louder. It's the duration on the consonants. And sometimes you'll barely use the consonants. But normally, if you fall off the word, it's because you're not sure how to hold on to it. Like Talladega Nights Syndrome, where he said, that movie Talladega Nights, if you didn't see it, Will Ferrell goes, a car ran real well. I felt like it was a spaceship. He goes, I'm sorry, I don't know what to do with my hands. He goes, it'd be good just to put them down to your side. And he goes, car felt pretty good. And then he kept pushing his hands down. Sometimes it's that way with words. We go, I don't know how I can hold on to my tone, but I can't hold on to the words. So you define the words with your articulation. Let me tell you, I've done this with Taylor Swift and everybody that's come through here. And you can hear Haley, how I hate the word intentional. I'm sorry. If you love it, I promise you in 3 years you won't say that. Deliberate's a better word. It's very deliberate. She goes, I am outside. I've been waiting for the sun with my wide eyes. I've seen words that don't belong. My mouth is dry with words I cannot verbalize. Every consonant, she sings it so straight, but you're like, I'm hypnotized because she's so deliberate. Say the words with meaning. You're like a preacher or a rapper or an auctioneer. That's a pretty diverse place, right? Like a Southern boy or like a New Yorker. Like, what's his face? Al Pacino? Yeah, Al Pacino in The Recruit, when he goes, you are going to lecture me? Ha! Where were you when I was doing special ops in Vietnam? You weren't even born yet. You weren't even a twinkle in your father's eye. And you're going to lecture me? Wow. It sounds scary. Because consonants just grab a hold of you, right? That was Michael Jackson's magic. What made him exciting is he sang with a great sense of urgency, but he did it patiently. Think about it. He sang like, gonna make a change for the rest of my life. Gonna make it right. Yeah, it's like I can't control. This music is taking me over. When you learn to let music take you over, you will sing emotionally. But all the things I've talked about are part of this. And it's all in my program, Singing Success 360, which we'll talk about later on. Now, because I'm still on this laryngitis, I need just a little extra stuff. So next thing, my next point is, as a man or woman thinketh, which is the Bible says, the man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So you think in your heart. There's a horrible, horrible gospel song that says, gotta get you out of my head. And I love the singer, so if you know him or if he's listening, please, man, I love your voice, man, but that's a horrible song. It's gotta get you out of my head. into my heart. Sometimes the two are so far apart. Nah, you get him. You want to get him out of your head? Get God out of my head. That sounds stupid. Think about it, like, baby, I need to get you. You're telling your wife or spouse or whatever. You say, I just need to get you out of my head. Get you in the heart. And like when you can't get a person out of your head, it's because you're in love with them, right? You just can't get them out of my head. I just wish I could. Or like if you break up, you get this person out of my head. And that's the first place. Your head and your heart are connected. Without a brain, you can't feel anything, right? You can have a heart transplant. You can't get a brain transplant. So why I say there is not a dichotomy between intellect and emotion, between technique and style. They are all the same thing. You are one whole cohesive person. You are mind, body, and soul. And without all of those three, now, if you don't believe in a soul, mind, body, and emotions, but I'd rather say soul, because if you're singing with the soul, you might imply that you have one. I'm preaching. I'm not sorry. Let's see, here we go. That song, sorry, not sorry. I want to say, not sorry, not sorry. So what you say, what does the song mean to you? Remember, interpretation is everything. You have to ask the 5 W's and their H friend. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. And I'll talk about this a little bit later, but I'm just going to get to the last points, and then we'll talk about interpreting the song. But I want you to think about that, asking the song these questions. The vibrato, it was called the unsung hero, pun intended, right? Unsung hero. The vibrato, if you unsing your vibrato and you know when and how much to use it, depending on the style, you can get through an entire phrase of music without any vibrato and still be compelling. If I do a twinkle little star, if I go twinkle, twinkle little star, how I wonder what you are. I'm trying to prove that I can sing. Like, okay, we get it right. But if I hold on and crunch every consonant, if I say, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. My brother bleeds out. It doesn't bleat out. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, I wonder what you are. Little child, so you could sing forever on those just because you're singing simple. If you sing to your child, if you have a babysitter or a younger brother, sibling, or your parent, singing to your children can be one of the most profound builders of emotion. Because it's just an audience of two for me. My little daughter and son, I'm singing in front of them. I don't sing them to sleep much anymore. They're like, say your prayers tonight. Go. And then I'll go watch news. ESPN. It's terrible. I need to sing to them more often. I let them sing now because they're great. But there's something about that impacting moments. There are certain songs that when I sang to them when they're little, like "You Are My Sunshine," when I hear them, "My sunshine, my only sunshine." I don't have to do much for it to have emotion. I used to do that to Caleb because his name rings out. "You are my Caleb, my only Caleb. You make me happy when skies are gray." You just literally you know. That's what emotion is designed for. It's designed to connect you to somebody. So remember what I said, when there's one person dies, it's a tragedy, and 1 million people died, the statistic, and then people say, that is so tragic. It's because we cannot connect to 1 million people. The other day I asked Madison to name 20 singers who went, and what? Your mind doesn't think like that. You don't think a billion singers. You get lost if you do that. So you have to absolutely hone in and focus on one or two things at a time when you're singing a song, so that person can focus in on you, one or two things. You don't have to do a million things to impress a person. You just have to be authentic and believable. And authenticity and organic, and those are big artsy buzzwords. But authentic, believable was as simple as what I said earlier. I said, where's my tea? That's a response. Singing should be a response. I like to sing a song like it's the first time I've ever sang it. Or like it's like if I wrote it, like if I'm writing it while done it. Her dad was in Budapest with me, travel buddy years ago, and I wrote a song from the stage. And I had this play, if I can remember, if I said, and I said, and if I ever lay myself to rest, find myself in bliss. And I was just, that was how the chorus, I was talking about these haunting streets and beautiful castles, and they're like, and they were so captured. They said it was the most magical moment. So being spontaneous, being able to write a song is really important. We'll be talking about this. Those of you who are on our VIP page, which I can talk about, there's a lot of writing hacks in there that I give. So you can just go back and scroll through. There's about, around $20,000 worth of content on there. So if you're signing up and thinking, gosh, $67 a month just for these, about $1,400 worth of content, it's pretty nice. But it's not that. It's all the thousands of dollars of content from the past. The new stuff is just so we can interact with you and give you what you need today. But the things that we gave you a year ago are pertinent, and so are the things that Pavarotti gave us 50 years ago. So remember, music has history, and you are to find yourself in various moments of musical history in order to build yourself as the deepest artist. That's why I listen. If you look at my playlist, you'll be like, wow, mind blowing. Because I listen to everything from every era. Pacobella's Canon. The classical piece they play at weddings all the time. That was Bach's influence. A very simple piece, actually. I mean, the melody is like a scale. It's really simple, but it's so emotional. So you have to become a musicologist. You have to consume tremendous amounts of music. This is what makes you a deeper artist, but learning to understand music at this level. So I strongly suggest you start writing. I got several hacks that show some simple chord progressions that a 7-year-old can get on there and look and go, oh, I can play that. And I can sing over the top, and how to dig out melody out of that. Very important. You learn to write, because when you write, that's when you really, truly find yourself. So remember, the vibrato is something that you use sparingly, and you can listen to great artists, people like Keith Urban, who can just slowly let it bleed out. Sometimes you have a slow vibrato. Sometimes you have a fast vibrato. You got to be careful with slow vibrato unless you're doing it almost like a run. If you're doing it like a lick, or for emotion, like something that feels labored or tired, has this place. Lastly, I want to say this on all my points, that you can't really make a bad song good, or can you? You ever heard people say, this person, she's so great, or he's so great, they could sing the phone book or sing the alphabet. That's kind of ridiculous. I can sing the alphabet. We know this is the most small chord progression, right? It's 6415 if you know the numbers system, which is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 1. So 6, 4, 1, 5. But then I play my chord instead of 6. I'm going to play here. 4. Now that chord progression is used so much in Greatest Showman. Can we change it up? So I'll go 6, 6, 4, 1, 3. You expect that, right? And I might say, no, I'm going to put it there. How do you do it emotionally? Articulation, timing, texture. And I don't want to sing this like, if I were going to sing this, I want to be spontaneous. I don't know what I'm going to sing next, so I might go A, B, C. Well, that's kind of predictable, but I could go A, B, C. Because this A, that's not in the chord. There's no G. So part of emotion is digging outside of the chord. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, Q. Now Q is outside the chord again. Here's the chord. It's A, C, E, but I'm singing a B. Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABC, so won't you come and see with me? Oh, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. That's staccato, right? Legato. Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y. Now throat cover. And C, N, C. Oh. It is about learning to use your voice like a paintbrush. You're taking your voice and trying to wrap it around a lyric. But, I mean, as you see, it's ridiculous. And I've had people say, and I kind of appreciate this, because I know there's way better singers than me in this building and next door and over there. But here's what I try to do, because I used to be this technical singer that people, her uncle, Stacy Baldry, Stacy, the dude Stacy, heard me once. He goes, "Yeah, dude, I don't know, man, that was good." It was almost sounded like, "Yeah, man, yeah, dog, I don't know." It sounded like Randy on American Idol. "That was good, man, but it was great, man. I wasn't like feeling it, man." And I'm like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, it was like technically perfect, but it just wasn't that great." And honestly, I kind of heard that. I love your ABC version. Patti LaBelle's, I'm looking at some things. Patti LaBelle's Alphabet Good song is good. You cannot connect to women on this song. What emotion from the song. But thank you all. So sweet looking at some of these comments here. Wouldn't it be the intention behind the consonant? Cool, so deliberate. Looking at some of the comments. As a musical singer, I was taught to belt, which I now see is the mix. Some are telling us that we can't do the mix without muscle power. Can you advise me? Yes, you heard her. She's got a wicked, crazy voice. It's all mixed. Remember, what they're talking, a lot of times when we talk about belt, we get caught up on semantics. Like, what is belt? You mean, if you by belt, you mean yelling in your chest voice as loud as you can. Naughty, terrible, horrible. You're going to lose yourself. Those might be in a Q&A. Yeah, we can talk about this. Let's talk a little bit about, we got some offers for you guys, a little bit. We're reopening the thing. Hold on just a second. Did I get a message here? on that? It's hard to hear. Go ahead. Madison needs to speak up when she does speak. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, here's the offers. Bada bing. I'm going to put on my glasses. I can sort of read it, but this will make it easier. I feel very distinguished with these, especially if they're crooked, like those guys with those crooked glasses. Here we go. Okay, so here's what we have. First of all, we have the SS360 streaming membership. We're opening that back up. We closed the streaming membership for a little while, and we're only doing downloads over Christmas. But now you can do the streaming membership. It's very convenient because you have it in the palm of your hand anytime, any place you go. So check it out. If I go on here, picture of my little kids there, so cute. I go in here and I tap on a Teachable app right there. Boom. And when I'm driving to work, I plug in my phone. And as you can see, that's where I was last stop. That exercise, this is, lip rolls. We've heard those a million times. But look at these exercises, this library of vocal exercise. It goes on forever. I mean, it might be a little blurry there, whatever. I have to get closer. But anyway, these library of, no wonder why. These library of exercises, they're on here. And if you go online, you'll see a picture of a graphic that shows these 7 technique lessons and 7 style lessons, and plus the intro introduction to technique and style, so that you learn the purpose behind both as a singer. But you can get that. It's the world's top selling vocal program. Thank God. We're very, very proud of that and thankful for that. It's sold in over 168 countries. You can get access to, that DJ. That's pretty cool. She's like, hey, she sang on that, by the way. She sang on when she was like 18, 17, I think, 16. A real powerful voice. So she did help us with the vocal power. And we had about 9 or 10 females and about a dozen male singers on there. Probably a little bit more than that. What I did is I picked out the best singer for who does, you do this exercise perfect. You become the paradigm. So when a person practices, they have perfect practice. So practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. Perfect practice makes perfect. So if you sing with a perfect paradigm, your practice becomes perfect. That's a lot of alliteration. Songwriter, she's rolling. Doctor warned her, she keeps rolling her eyes like that, she would strain her ocular nerve and pop her eyeballs out of her socket. So she says, Brett, you exaggerate. Of which I respond, I told you a billion times I didn't exaggerate. So you get the SS367 lessons dedicated to style, how to further develop your already unique sound as an artist. Learn your licks, your trills, your runs, and many other stylistic tricks that will complement your voice and range. Some of those we talked about today. And you can click on our link to see what we're talking about that. What are the other, the landing pages of the webinar? Okay, here's the landing page is, I'm gonna, I'll put it right here for you all to see for our webinar special, so you can see what we have. Okay, hold on. Look at all these people commenting. Oh, I gotta get to your comments here. How do I do this? Oh, chat. Here we are. Then we'll do some before and afters, but I'll give you this. Guys have been using Brett's training since 2005. He's the best. What he teaches, just don't give up. Get all his programs as soon as you can. Thank you very much, Ricardo. I used to use your program several years ago, and it changed my life. My voice gave me a lot of confidence when I was using it at the time. It's top of my singing. Wow. Get the app for my phone. Yeah, if you sign up, it'll send you to a link to the app. I've already purchased this. Please access it on Teachable. Yeah, they can help you on that. We've got people standing by waiting to help you. So let me get you this link. I'll type it in here. It's webinar special. special dot singing success dot com. I'm going to click on there to see if I did that right. Boom. And yes, there we go. The open enrollment for the Singing Success VIP membership or the C360 streaming. Basically, 360 streaming, that's my flagship program that has the whole method in it, but then you get specifics, the mastering vibrato, the mastering harmony, the mastering your mixed voice, because you got to build that mixed voice. You don't see that link? I just typed it. Y'all see it here? I just typed it in the thing. You don't see it either? Still don't see it? Because I did type it to you. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I think I responded to a certain person. Apple C. How do I send this to everybody? Hold on, more. Allow it to see. Gosh, hold on. I need to try to send this message to everybody. Let's see. Goodness gracious, y'all. Well, maybe I can't really send this to all of you. There you go. Somebody's just mailed. Can you all see each other's comments, by the way? Somebody answered that. Yes, got it. Okay, good. So you can see it there. All right. So you got it. In the Zoom. It's the Zoom webinar chat. We can hear. Okay, good. Awesome. So you got that. Now, a couple more thoughts, and then we're going to, like I said, do a Q&A. Let's see. Well, first of all, I wanted to say, my final thoughts, I wanted to say this. If you're trying to cover a song, if you're recording a Christmas song or some other kind of music coming up, or any pop song, when I say these are kind of 3 bonus points for this little webinar, is that you don't want to out-sing these 3 things. You don't want to out-sing the song. In other words, the song's asking you for a certain amount. Don't try to sing better than the song is, if you know what I mean by that. Some people over-sing, don't why are you singing the song that way? You're killing it. And you don't also want to under-sing it. You can't sing Oh Holy Night and just whisper the whole time. You're flipping into falsetto all the time. You lose that power. It's a power song. So don't out-sing the song. Don't try to out-sing the original artist. Oh, Mariah did this many looks? I'll do more. Oh, David Phelps was this powerful, one of the most powerful singers ever. There's actually a lot bigger voices, but just his voice has a bite that's a very exciting, adrenaline-filled voice. And people say, well, I'm going to be even more adrenaline-filled. He's loud, I'm going to sing heavier. And then it becomes a yelling contest. Now you're tasteless and tawdry. And then the final thing is don't out-sing yourself. You don't sing so hard that you know that you would never be able to do that performance again. I gave everything I had. Give everything you have emotionally, not physically. Give everything you have purposefully. So you sing on purpose, I want every phrase, I want to wrap my voice around every lyric. Now, let me take some questions. At the very end, I'm going to tell a short story about writing a song, and then I'm going to sing it for you all and talk about this. Thank you all, programs. Thank you all. Man, I love these testimonials. I never get tired of it. I'm really excited. I'm so thankful that this has helped you all so much. The volume 2 of Mastering Harmony, yes, it's coming. I'm talking to Claude McKnight soon. That's one of the questions we have. I can sort of read these, but I think this will make it easier. Anything that makes me look smarter. She's laughing. You need a lot more than glasses. They're one of those hats with the little the graduation song. Mastering Harmony. Yes, that's coming. I wanted to say anything. So thank you all for sharing this with us. Just say goodbye. All right. See you all. Hope one day we'll meet. I hope so too. How do you sing emotionally when you're tired? Sing with a tired emotion. Seriously. So pick a song that is tired. Right now, if you're tired, there's ways to get emotion. Me, caffeine. I like caffeine. Is caffeine good for your voice? It's good for mine. That quote, first coffee, then I do stuff. It's me. Would you say your techniques are more geared toward a professional soloist or an above average long time trained singer who wants to just maintain a healthy voice technique? My answer to that question is yes. My technique doesn't matter. Got to lead for Carnegie, Brett. Oh gosh, look at Deanne. She's singing at Carnegie. I am so envious. You are my hero. Deanna Delora. She teaches this methodology. We had the same mentor, and she's a fantastic singer. Came into town and observed a little bit, and what a great voice. She's a brilliant artist, and she won an international vocal competition. That's pretty significant. Brett, it feels like home to be in your classroom again. Oh, thank you, Sue. I love that. I'm 83, still going strong, but is it still too late to try to change anything? Hey, as long as you're above ground on this side of the ground. So I was telling everybody, at 52, I'm going to be pretty soon not buying green bananas. I'm going to buy them ripe. but we don't know. No. Well, I make a joke with that because here's the thing. Nobody knows how much time. But God rest their souls. I lost two brothers, one at 48 and 49. One from a brain tumor, one from cancer. And it's very, very sad. But it's like, if somebody told you you have 5 years, that's it, what would you do? You would do everything you could do to leave a legacy. I mean, what can you do that would leave a legacy? Recording a song. If y'all don't have my record, go get it. It's exciting. I mean, I'm just going to put it up free pretty soon anyway, but you can listen to it streaming on iTunes Music. I can't believe it's not on Spotify yet. I got to talk to one of my assistants and get that over there. But if you listen to it, I feel like it's a legacy record. She's heard the song "Beautiful Us" and learned it. It's one of those songs, huh? It's a moment. Yeah, it's a moment song. Is this blurry? No, it's just my glasses telling me that it's blurry. I don't know if these are helping. Going on tour. Yeah, so yes, if you're 70, telling you my mom is 79 and still sings. My dad is 88 or 87. He's going to be 88 and he still sings. A little bit on the subject. When we are reopening the affiliate program, yes, I would email us at support@Singing Success. We're literally getting ready to reopen it. Possibly before the year ends. That's what we're working on as hard as we can. Some of the affiliate programs are goofy. We want to get one that is 100% effective. So the difference between the Teachable class and your products online, I've already brought Mastering Harmony. I think the biggest difference is that there's on the Teachable thing, you just get everything. You have everything, and plus you have the convenience of streaming. Plus, if the only thing that you got in the VIP program were the VIP page, it'd be worth it. If you had everything already, so it's almost like you can buy the product, download it. That's cool. Then you have it. That way you'll have it. But for me, I don't want to have it. I don't have a CD player. So I want everything streamed. I want it right here. I need convenience. And so I want everything streaming. That's important for me. And then, if you don't, whether you have everything or don't have everything, in the end, it's 1:30. Gosh, we got to finish up, huh? In the end, what you want to do is realize the VIP membership that's online is valuable in itself. So I look at it, it's almost, instead of buying the product, all the streaming stuff is free. You pay $67 a month for thousands and thousands of dollars of content and get all the programs that you'd normally pay for streaming for free. I look at that as the bonus, not the page as the bonus. The page is extremely valuable. We have guests on there. We have all my coaches. You're not just stuck with me. Everybody has a different methodology to warm up people. Same methodology, but just a slightly different pathway. We never warm up the same way twice, do we? And you need different warm-ups for different situations. So we're getting very specific. It all warm up. Some will just be quick lightning warm-ups, and some of them are shorter. 7:30 in the UK, have to go, sing my kids goodnight. Yes, do it. I would love for you to come join a seminar in England. I would love that. I want to come out there for a long time, singing at my friends. Any plans to go on tour? Yes. Jason Control is still with Singing Success. Yes, he is. I mean, he is his own coach, so he's not teaching for the studio anymore, but he's definitely a master associate and in very good standing. What is the difference between teachable class and your products? Okay, we got that one. Programs. I've been following you since 2009. I've just voiced for female. I can find more balance, especially songs that don't suit. Rachel, I'd like to hear you. I mean, that's the key is, but you do have to develop. If you have a chest voice, head voice balances it out. And then you start with a heady mix and build into it. The one thing I'm wondering is exact placement. How do I ask this question? I discovered recently that I sing easier when I focus the resonance more toward the top back of my head. Where does whistle voice expand in the same area more? Okay, I really want to answer all these questions. I'm going to do a Q&A on YouTube soon. So watch. If you're not on our YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe right away to our YouTube channel. And I'll take all these because a lot of these are not so much about emotion, they're more technique. And I'm happy to answer those questions. But also, we've extended beyond what I said I was going to do this for, and I want to keep my integrity intact and get down and work with my staff. So I love you all. Thank you so much for showing up, and Merry Christmas or whatever holiday you say. I appreciate you all being here, and thank you. Love you all, and reach out to me on Facebook. The last thing I was talking about is my song online. I was going to perform it, but just go online, look for Brett Manning sings What If I? What If I? And the story about like, wow, what if I would have done this? Things would have turned out different, but I didn't. So here's where we're at now. And it's a brilliant song, I think, personally. I think it is. It's just, I co-wrote it with Poppy, her, that's a very interesting artist that I had worked with for years and years. And she used to actually be my nanny, if you believe it or not. And, but now she's big and like, wow, holy cow, can't believe it. That happens. But anyway, look forward to hearing your stories of singing success, and y'all, I'll see you soon. Merry Christmas. If your information, yeah, so send an email if you need anything, and my people will take care of you. Take care. Bye-bye. End meeting.